Rights to freedom is dead. We're coming to get our check.
Black first, my brothers and my sisters, welcome to the Afro Elite YouTube channel. I'm your host, Afro Elite. Before we get started, please make sure that you guys hit that like button, subscribe button, share button, all of that, because all of that helps the reach and the growth of the channel, and we're on our way to 10K. And for everything that you guys do, I thank you guys so very much. Now, this case is very important. If you guys have saw a recent video I did about the hate crimes rising in America, specifically cities like Chicago, New York, and things like that. When we talk about that type of stuff, we have to talk about it in its full, proper context. It's not just the groups are becoming more emboldened just by the words of Donald Trump and people like Ron DeSantis and stuff like that. It's also judges, it's also politicians, it's also all of these things in unison and in sync, working together to embolden and strengthen these groups of people. We're going to look at this situation and we're going to use it as a case study about how these people can go out, commit a violent crime, and then get a slap on the wrist, because this is the type of behavior that really does embolden them. The media is going to make it seem like this is because of Trump or this is because of DeSantis, which is not 100% incorrect. But the thing is that they omit a lot of the other factors that also emboldens this type of behavior. So let's look into this story.
Neo-Nazi leader sentenced to time served over attack on hikers in Victorian State Park. A neo-Nazi group leader who admitted to attacking a group of hikers in Victorian State Park has walked free from court after being sentenced to time served. Thomas Sowell, along with Jacob Hersant, was convicted on Friday after pleading guilty to a violent affray in the Cathedral Range State Park in May 2021. They were among far-right National Socialist Network and European Australian Movement members who sat among a group of friends hiking in the park. On Friday, Sowell was sentenced in the Victorian County Court to 1 month and 7 days imprisonment, which he had already served. 1 month and 7 days. Y'all, 1 month and 7 days. This is a confirmed. He admitted he attacked them on purpose. It's not an accident. He wasn't afraid for his life. And this is a leader of a neo-Nazi group, okay? What happened to setting the example? What happened to a RICO charge? What happened to gang injunctions? What happened to America being against that? Oh, now, all those right-wing people who be all like, man, America is so soft on crime. They just let criminals walk out of prison. There's just no hardship. There's just no consequences in America anymore. Notice how they're not going to say anything about this. This is a neo-Nazi. First off, 1 month and 7 days ain't nothing. I don't even care if he didn't actually do any grave damage to the person. 1 month and 7 days. On top of the fact that you're admitted a neo-Nazi leader, a group, a violent group, a terrorist group, and you're the leader of that. And you violently orchestrated an attack on a group of people, and you only get 1 month and 7 days in prison. Notice how you're not going to see the people who claim to be tough on crime and who claim to want to lock the criminals up and throw away the key. Notice that you're not going to hear them say anything about this. Hersant was sentenced to 3 days prison time already served in order to perform 200 hours of community work over 14 months. Man, if this isn't the biggest slap on the wrist I've ever seen. It continues to say, Judge Kaylee Blair said Sowell, now 30, he's a young man, 30 is young, he's young to be a leader of a neo-Nazi group, 30, was the leader of a European Australian movement at the time, while Hersant, now 24, led the National Socialist Network. Now, mind you, this happened in 2021. So Sowell is now 30. So he would have been 28 when he committed this crime. And then Hersant, he would have been 22 when he committed this crime. All right. So these are young people. So when they say things like, young people, racism is fading away, it's going away. These are young members of terrorist groups that they're allowing to just walk out of prison. Okay. They're a part of a group. They're a part of a terrorist organization, because that's what they are, a part of a terrorist organization. 1 month and 7 days in jail. And then they don't even do that. They don't even do that. It's just time served. It's time served. Boy, man. You got a black person driving with a suspended license and he's still in jail. He don't get no time served. Continuing. Blair said a group of friends hiking in the park had seen a sticker on their walk with the quote, Australia for the white man phrase prior to being attacked. They also saw men wearing black shirts emblazoned with a white Celtic cross, the emblem of the European Australian movement, and speculated that they may be neo-Nazis. So you guys know that is one of their symbols. You guys have to pay attention to a lot of the tattoos they'll be wearing, the symbols they use on their jackets, especially like biker gangs and stuff. They'll put a whole bunch of symbols. Now, everybody knows what the swastika is. So sometimes they'll use other symbols that are tied with neo-Nazi or white supremacist organizations that aren't as well known as the swastika or the Confederate flag or something like that. So when you see the Celtic cross, the white Celtic cross, notice that those type of tattoos or those type of emblems on people's shirts are also very often partnered with like swastikas and stuff like that. So they'll have like a swastika in a hidden area on their clothing, and then they'll have the Celtic cross somewhere open where people can see it. So that happens a lot of times too. So you guys got to pay attention for the symbols and the tattoos. It continues to say, when they crossed paths again in the car park, one of the group Googled neo-Nazi symbols and took a video of the other men. See, they had to Google it, and that's one of the symbols, is one of the secondhand symbols. You know, it's not a swastika, because you don't have to Google that to know it's tied with the Nazis. But other symbols people are not as often aware of, so it's important. When you see that stuff, that's a red flag, and it's a sign you're in danger. Blair said 10 to 15 men from Sowell and Harson's group ran toward a car, concealed their identities, and threatened the friends. The court heard one was carrying a knife. 10 to 15. Does this not sound like a gang? This sounds like a gang to me. Now, had this been 10 to 15 black people, black men, it would be it would first off be a national story. Everybody be talking about it. They would all be locked up, not just two, all be locked up. It'd be a gang. They'd lock up their parents. They'd lock up anybody who ever knew them, confiscate all their personal belongings, throw the book at them, then make an example. It'd be national news. Now, these are 10 to 15 white men, white nationalists, based off of the symbols and the beliefs that they confirm to have. And it's all like, time served. You got it. Just don't do it again, or at least don't get caught again, essentially. One of them had a knife. So that indicates that they were going to delete them. That indicates that they were going to take their life away. That's what why would you have a knife? You attacked a group of people. One of them have a knife. So hold on, what's going on with that? What's going on with the illegal weapons charge and all that stuff? Because they be making up charges had this been a group of black men. Then it continues to say, prosecutors claim Sowell injured his arm on the broken window, either by breaking it himself or reaching into the car, while Hersant was said to have reached through the driver's window to either turn off the car or grab the keys. Blair said while the offending arose from their association with neo-Nazi groups, she did not consider it to be related to their political beliefs. So Blair is being on code. She like, well, I mean, it did arise from their association with the neo-Nazi groups, but that don't mean it was because of the neo-Nazi group. So those are totally different things. So we're just not going to tie those things up together. We're just going to forget the fact that you guys are confirmed neo-Nazi. We're just going to forget that part. She's being on code. The judge is being on code with the neo-Nazis. Then it continues to say, when sentencing Sowell, she said she took into account the difficult conditions he spent in custody over 6 months to be sufficient punishment. Really? So she's having a lot of sympathy for him. She's having a tremendous amount of sympathy. The difficult conditions he spent in custody. Yeah, you're in prison. You're in jail. You're in jail. Those aren't comfortable conditions. Jail is not supposed to be comfortable conditions. They're supposed to be difficult conditions for people to go through. So you're saying, oh, that's a sufficient punishment. No, that means I don't know if he got bail or wasn't able to make bail, but that's what he gets. That's the law. He broke the law. These people don't ever do, man, let these people be black, boy. It'd be, man, that's not enough punishment. You won't live long enough to punish to get your sentence done, you criminal, you scum of life, you worthless. That's what they would be doing if this was a black person. And mind you, nobody was necessarily like killed or anything like that in this situation, but the principle of the fact that this was a gang of people jumping somebody due to their Nazi beliefs. That's more than enough. It continues to say, but outside court, Sowell claimed his group has always been respectful to members of the public and was a, quote, law-abiding organization. If you mean the law, you mean the law of white supremacy. That's the only law you could be talking about. Quote, we have behaved honorably at all times, he said. Really? Okay. Despite pleading guilty to violent affray charges, Sowell claimed outside the court that he was not guilty and had accepted a deal that would keep prison time to a minimum.
Now, when we talk about these groups of people, we have to talk about it in its proper context. It's not just the groups. It's not just Enrico Torres or whoever the Proud Boys leader supposedly is. It's not just David Duke. It's the judges. It's the sheriffs. It's the commissioner. It's detectives. It's lawyers. It's prosecutors. It's doctors. It's firefighters, it's governors, it's mayors, it's everybody. This is why we call it the system of white supremacy. It's not just a group of people who are just committing acts of white supremacy. It is a system that works in unison in every aspect of human activity, in every aspect of society. You have seeds of these white supremacists all around working together to promote each other, to embolden each other, to empower each other. This is why we say it's a system of white supremacy that has to be dismantled. Every aspect of it, not just the aspect of the police, not just the aspect of the judges, not just the aspect of the doctors or the presidents or the politicians. Every aspect, because every aspect of this works together in unison. When you look at situations like this, it can remind you of the situation we'll call Kyle Rittenhouse, because the judge essentially said, hey, I know what the law is supposed to be, and I know what I'm supposed to do as the judge, but I'm just going to ignore that because I just don't want to punish you. This is things that happen when it comes to them. These people give their members, their terrorists, slaps on the wrist. Now, when it comes to a black person doing anything, they throw the book and they be all like, well, that's the law. We got to follow the law by the book, that's the law. But when it comes to them, there's a whole bunch of exceptions. There's a whole bunch of, well, he's young. We don't want to ruin his life. And, oh, that rule, who uses that rule anyway? They say stuff like that when it comes to them. So we have to, in order to dismantle the system, we have to fully understand it and fully understand all of its branches. The branch is not just, it doesn't stop at the KKK or the Proud Boys or the neo-Nazi organizations or groups. It branches out into all aspects of society. Even the FBI, which is anti-black in and of itself, even the FBI has confirmed that there are members of white supremacist groups who are infiltrated into the police department, which we've all known. We've known for ever since the beginning. They started as slave catchers, so nobody's surprised with that aspect. But the thing is that that's confirmation that their judges, they're a part of that. The lawyers, the prosecutors, all of that. And you have the right and the left. They're going to omit and ignore all of those aspects in the system of white supremacy and focus solely on neo-Nazi organizations, the KKK and things like that. But it's up to us to recognize all of the aspects. Family, I want to know what you guys think in the comments section below. Let me know what you guys think about the judge. Let me know what you guys think about the leader. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Also, you should be following me on my various social media platforms, which is Afro Elite on Instagram and then the Afro Elite on Twitter or X, whatever you prefer to call it. Also, please do not forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share button if you want to see more content like this, because we're on our way to 10K. We are so very close. We're on our way to 10K, and that's because of you guys. So I sincerely appreciate every single last one of you guys. Please don't forget, if you have not done so, to subscribe, leave a comment, share, all of that stuff, because all of that stuff helps the reach and the growth of the channel. Now, with that being said, my brothers and my sisters, B1 salute to every single last one of you all, and you all have a good one.